Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your bonus read for today. The daily read is now up. This weekend I'll do your weekly reading for next week, and your October readings are all up, so I'm right on top of everything at the moment. So what's going to happen in the bonus read? Let's see how we go. If my readings don't resonate with you, I'm happy for you to move on. I don't get offended. And you don't have to do whatever's in the reading too, because I get people saying, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. If you don't want it, you have every right to say no to it. So always remember that. We have the power to say no if it's not what we want. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's getting towards the end of a week. It's my first week back at work for the last few months, so it's been a bit of a tough week this week. Five of Swords. Somebody's having some bickering or some arguments here. Somebody also feels like they're winning an argument, so. Okay, we're all ready. Okay, first card out, Four of Pentacles. Now, this card talks about hanging on to things. It talks about hanging on to money. It talks about hanging on to energy. But it talks about hanging on to something that you don't really need to hang on to. I always think this guy's really showing that he's hanging on to things because he doesn't want his heart hurt. Whether that be because he's lost his money or not. But he clearly has enough here, but he's still hanging on. Sometimes this can talk about hanging on to the past, hanging on to something that no longer serves you. So maybe spending too much time grieving a relationship when you need to move on. But definitely this feeling of hanging on to something that no longer serves your purpose. It could also be that you're saving for a holiday, or you're saving for something, you're penny pinching. Just remember, guys, money's energy, it needs to flow. Okay. First card out is the Star. Now, I have to tell you, again, brand new pack. This was the last card out in the daily read. So the Star talks about healing, you know, being able to wash away anything that no longer serves you. So you see the woman in this picture, you know, picking up water and pouring it from, you know, from cups to healing. It's like healing your emotions, really, because water does represent emotions in the tarot. But more so, this can also sort of talk about a destined thing, you know, a way you're going that is destined. So if you're dealing with heartbreak at the moment, or you're hanging on to something from your past, I can tell you now there is something coming for you that is better than what you've left behind. Now that might be hard for you if you're in this process at the moment to listen to, but I know the Star comes in when greater things are on their way, because it asks us to let go of things, to heal ourselves, to deal with whatever grief we've been going through, because it wants to offer new life, new love in the Star. So that's a nice card to get straight up in a reading. It seems funny that it's continuing the last one. So the card you get next is the Temperance card. Now, the Temperance is a major arcana too, so we now have two major arcanas here. But the Temperance card talks about, and I think with both these cards, they're both trying to balance out emotions here. So with that Four of Pentacles in the beginning, I'm thinking that a lot of you are healing at the moment, or going through grief processes. Maybe that's a better way to say it. But you're going through a process of sort of, you know, what did I do? What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? That process of healing and trying to bring yourself back into balance. You know, it wasn't, it was meant to happen. There's no one to blame here. That sort of balance. So this is what you're working on at the moment. So the Temperance cards asks us to bring in some balance, and I always talk about the fact that she's got one foot in the water and one foot on the ground. So she's very grounded, but she's also very comfortable with where she is with her emotions. Now, a path lies ahead of her, and she knows that she has to do this healing before she walks this path. She's also enlightened here. So I feel like for a lot of you, if you've been going through this healing, grief energy, and you are hanging on to things like the Four of Pentacles, you're about to come out of this energy, because I feel like you've achieved what you needed to achieve to move on. Okay, and the next card out was the Five of Swords. Now this one came up in the flip, so they always do that. It's just to bring my attention to it. So this is obviously very important. Now, I feel like you've had a breakup with someone. Now, whether this be work or whether it be love, the breakup is evident here because you've won something. You've walked away from something. Now, it's not necessarily a good feeling because I think you've walked away from something you loved or something you cared about. So what this means is that, you know, often we've won a battle, but it's not really so satisfying. It's almost like we've won it, we've done it, but we're hurting because we've had to do it. We've had no other choice. So for some of you out there, I feel like you've walked away from a situation because it was no good for you, because it may have been a karmic thing, because it may have been a lesson, and you've understood it and you've walked away. And that tells me that you are listening to your intuition. So that's brilliant. Because even though this hurts, you knew it had to be done. And I like that. Because to me, that's getting past cycles in your life that may have held you back, undervaluing yourself. So I really like that. Okay, and the next card out is the Two of Wands. Now that makes sense here. Now what I will say to you is you've been led away from this because someone new is in your future here. And there are two paths to choose. And I feel like you've done that choosing. You've let go of something that didn't serve you because you know something better is out there. He's talking to someone. And he has the world in his hands. So he's so ready to take on new things. But the universe is letting you know that actually something new is out there. There's a second person here. Now this may not be love, but what the universe is saying is that you have another opportunity that's yet to be seen. Okay, and then we have the moon. Isn't that fabulous? Oh, I love the way they do this. So the moon talks about things being hidden from us. We haven't been able to see that yet. And I think in this card too, you know, it's sort of showing here, you know, that there's more to this card than what there looks like. You see a guy here with his two wands, but we know there's another person in the picture because he's actually looking at them. And in this card here, it talks about things being seen from view. We haven't been able to see them yet. So the universe is planning something here. We have a lot of major arcana, so I can tell you now this is some sort of destined event. Something is not quite visible to you yet. I think you feel the calling because you've been able to let go of something that's been hanging on to you that you knew that you needed to let go. And I like it because you've done that. So what the universe is saying here, there's something for you ahead. You just haven't discovered it yet. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. So we then have the Judgment card. Now the Judgment card talks about rebirthing, coming back from the dead, having something new. Whatever you've put in here, guys, you've just done a brilliant job because what you've done is you've said goodbye to something to bring something brilliant and new back. Now, I know people say about the past, but there are two people on this card. There's a family here. So for some of you, it could be about bringing someone back from your past because you see this future with them. For others of you, it can talk about moving into something that you've wanted but you've not been able to attain. So it could be like having a family. But it's definitely on offer here. And you've walked away from what didn't serve you to be able to pick this up. I love it. Okay, yeah. This is wonderful. See what's coming in here. A brand new start. So we have 4 major arcanas out of 6 and then we get an ace. Wow. Really, wow. So the Ace of Swords talks about a brand new start. Now it's something that comes in with great clarity here. It's a hit you in the face clarity, and I feel like that's really amazing after having this moon energy. Because what this is saying to me, it's like you have this, you know, realization about where you're supposed to be going now. This enlightenment. And I love that you get to wear a crown now, guys. Okay, next card out. Oh, 10 of Cups. What a beautiful reading. So a lot of you here, and again 2 people in this card. A lot of you here are travelling towards relationships that are true love. You're going from a place where perhaps you've come out of something karmic. Now, being it's a second chance, it could be with the same person. And I think for some of you, this is definitely something new because the universe is keeping things hidden from you at the moment while you go through this process. But you've definitely done the right thing. You've done the work. You're ready to move forward here. It's beautiful. And the star tells me in this card, there's a wish coming true here. Okay, and then we have the Emperor. So you could be dealing with an Aries. There's quite a few people here, really. Aquarius, Pisces. Aquarius, Pisces. Oh, there's a few. It's hardly worth mentioning. They're just about all here. Okay, so this person here, and again I know, Major Arcana, this person here is a person who's got their shit in order. They really know who they are. They can sometimes be someone of power or someone that you go to for advice. It could be a father figure. Very often he's, very much the master of his own skills, master of his kingdom. He's the be-all to end-all guy. He's perfect. So you could be moving towards this. This could be the energy you're taking on too. Like you've mastered everything now and you're so ready to move forward. But great energy with the Emperor. And there it is. Things happening very quickly. This is the arrows of love here. So for a lot of you, what you're doing, what you're leaving behind, what you're reviewing has been a big lesson for you. Because you've realised your true value here. And you're ready to give yourself this new lease, this new start. And I love it that it comes in with the Ace of Swords because this is so divinely guided because now you have this serious clarity. It's pretty amazing. Lovely reading. I didn't have time to pull an oracle card on the... I try and keep the readings at 15 minutes because they go up. That one wants to come out. They go up very much quicker on YouTube. Otherwise, they struggle to go up. Okay, that's a really strange thing to get. So that's a message for someone out there. I'm going to take another card. It talks about drinking more water. Now, I don't know this meant for, but I know that this has been a big lesson for me on drinking water. I've always been a water drinker, but I don't drink a lot. I'm a bit like a cat. I only seem to drink in little spits and bursts. But for some of you out there, understand that drinking water clears and purifies your system. A lot of people don't drink enough water. It makes your kidneys and your liver suffer too. So make sure that you are drinking water because someone needs that message for sure. It jumped out at me. Okay, and the other card I've picked here is Peace Offering. And it's really funny because when I was reading this, I was wondering for the people coming back. Somebody may be coming back from the past to offer you something to move you forward on your path. So this new start you have, for some people only, may be with someone from your past. And I feel like, especially because the day reading sort of talked about this sort of tower breakdown, there's some sort of realization, some sort of epiphany here, especially with the Ace of Swords here, where you gain clarity on how you're supposed to move forward. But I feel like someone's coming back to actually say sorry or try and rebuild this. Isn't it a beautiful card? Look at that. Sorry, it's so glistening here. I really need a tech person to come in and set up my good camera. But he's beautiful. Look at that. Buffalo, white buffalo with a peace offering. Thanks, guys.